All right, welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. And all right, guys, we started the show talking about the Cavs, and as they go to Toronto, we know for whatever reason, role players often struggle on the road. We saw in Game 4 a role player make the difference. Dennis Schroder was the star of the show in the fourth quarter, and a big part of the reason why the Cavs, excuse me, not in Game 4, but Game 5 at home. Do we have confidence? Anybody have confidence? And who do you trust most of the bench mob?
Man, I wanted to be Max Strus, and I thought that Kenny had to trust because he made the starting lineup change the other night. It didn't quite work out. So we've seen Merrill make some. Obviously, Schroeder's contributions were huge the other night.
Yeah.
Trusting him on the road is a different story, and it's a great question. I would like it to be Strus, but to me, it's probably Sam Merrill, who I trust the most. Keon Ellis didn't play at all.
Nope,
right?
DNP.
So that's an interesting one there.
Merrill was good on the road in Game 4. He was the only one that made a shot down the stretch for Cleveland. But based off what he did in Game 5, I think the answer has to be Schroder tonight. He's going to play, and if Toronto's going to continue to top block Donovan and James Harden, it's going to turn into a 4-on-4 contest, and you need a guy who can dribble, create space in those 4-on-4 situations. Schroeder's the best of the bunch in getting downhill. He's the best driver of the bunch, and he's by far the best navigator of a pick and roll of the bunch. So if they're going to continue, and by they I mean Toronto, to play that defensive strategy of taking Harden and Mitchell out of the game, denying them the ball, and it becomes a 4-on-4 contest, it's going to be Schroder again who has to have a big game for the Cavs to win.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Schroder also, although I could easily see him going, 1 for 8 from the field today and doing nothing.
Yep.
I do think Zach's right that Sam Merrill's been the most consistent other on this team. Like he's I don't know that in any of these games he's been their best bench guy. Maybe in Game 4.
In Game 4 he was.
Yeah, he was.
In Game 4 he was.
But he's certainly been their most consistent guy. He hasn't really – has he had a bad game? Maybe Game 3? I don't remember.
He hasn't made shots in the way you'd want him to make shots, but – and you see this is the highlights against from the Wizards earlier in the season. He hasn't had one of these games yet.
Right.
And I think his hands bother him a little bit. I think his hamstrings still bother him a little bit. He's coming up short on a bunch of his threes, which typically means you're not getting the lift required to elevate the ball over the rim.
Yeah.
But he was good in Game 4, was the only guy that made shots down the stretch. He had an impact despite the fact he didn't shoot well in Game 5. His gravity pulled Toronto out of some of their defensive principles. They need him to make shots, especially on the road, if you're not going to be able to count on contributions from Keon Ellis, who was a DMP last time, Jalen Tyson, who made 2 threes in the last game but didn't do anything on the road, and Max Strus, who's been good in the odd games this series, hasn't been good in the even games.
Do we think Strus is going to start again tonight?
Yeah, but I think he will.
Right. Do we think Ellis is not going to play at all in this game?
Yeah, it trends that direction.
Yeah.
Ellis has not been able to make a shot, and his size, he's good at guarding like the Tyrese Maxey types, like the athletic guards, but he's 6'4" and skinny.
Right.
So against the Ingrams and the Scotty Barnes and the RJ Barretts,
they're not worried about guarding Jamal Shed anyway.
And they want Shed to shoot, exactly.
Right.
It's a bad matchup for him.
Yeah, all right.